I'm so glad Big Daddy isn't one of those dumb, idiotic, moronic tipper drivers who think they own their road and they drive like absolute
Oh yeah, back on tippers. Hello, this is Except for Access. I am Tom, otherwise known as the Big Daddy. That is a tipper. Well, no, actually, no, that's not. That's actually the bed. But behind the bed, behind the cab and all of that, there is a tipper. But let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, first thing people are going to be asking, fair enough, what the hell happened and why do I have a new job? Now, the story of what happened, I'll be honest with you, it's fascinating, it's juicy, you are gonna absolutely love it. The only issue is I can't tell you any of it, like any of it. And even more tantalizing as such, I can't even tell you why I can't tell you. I can just tell you that I can't tell you. I know, it's like juicy gossip, you need to know it. In fact, the intro that I recorded, the original intro for this video, it had to get scrapped. And it had to get scrapped for reasons. This road's ace. Like, this is a properly cool road to drive on. I love it. Don't push, don't push, don't push, don't push, don't push. Please don't push. Thank you. You've made me lose a lot of power there. We're in power mode. No, we're not. There we go, that's better. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to talk about it. I hope that I can talk about it later, but not now. Now you just get me driving in an amazing, amazing road, but nonetheless, yeah, there's not really a lot I can do. Now, although I can't talk about what has happened, I can talk about what is happening and what will happen. Now, the most obvious thing is I'm back on tippers, something at which I'll be honest with you, I am quite happy about. It's work that I know. It's a lot of fun. You get spectacular views. Wow! How have I never been on this road before? This is amazing. Look at you, you lovely chappy. Thank you very much, sir. Look at the views. Look at the views. It occurs to me I'm supposed to be doing an intro here. I'm just getting absolutely I promise you, I'm going to talk to you guys in a second. I'm trying to take in what's around me. I took a road over the Moors the other day, and it had like some really cool, like sweeping bends. It was full, absolutely filled to the brim. The entire thing was just filled with average speed cameras, but it was a really nice drive. And I thought that's the road I was taking. No, this is not the same road. This is a completely different road. So I've moved to a company called James Booth, a little family-run tipping company. Now, I'm not going to talk much about them because I already have talked about them. Well, no, I'm about to talk about them in the video, like continuity-wise, because this was actually, well, the rest of this video was filmed like 3 weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago, was it? I can't remember. I filmed it a while ago anyways. And if I'm honest with you, I can't actually remember what I talked about in this. I genuinely cannot remember at all. This intro was supposed to be 16 minutes long, so if the video's shorter, that explains the reason why it's shorter, because this whole thing was taken out and yeah, there was a whole thing there. But I do talk about the company, and I talk about horses at one point. I'm reasonably sure I prattle on about them, and I think I complained about horses. I genuinely don't remember why. Why was I talking about horses? I can't remember. This is not the same road I came on the other day. It's a lot more fun, I will say. Meep, meep. Uh-oh. Oh, you're about to have a bad day, my friend. You're just going to have a push. Yep. Pretty where it's due, you got through. I didn't think that. I thought you were going to struggle there, my friend. Now, something I have noticed since I've started this job is how bad I am as a driver. And probably shouldn't say that. Oh no, he says, but I'm going to struggle getting around this because that person's parked right on that bloody edge. Come on, truck. Good on you. So when I was on for BTs or for Farringtons, you'd get the occasional regular run where you'd be heading up from one place to another, and you'd know, like, you'd be doing that particular run a few times a month, say. But all of the other runs, the interim runs, they're all very different, and you on a daily basis, you could sometimes guess what you were doing, or you can kind of guess where you'd be going later in the week from once you got your text messages giving you locations. But for the most part, you didn't really know where you were going. Obviously, you're going to have your regular runs, but with here, the runs are they're always very set. So you'll start at the one point, you'll kind of go around it, and you might get that job again on Friday, or you might get it again next Monday, and so there's like a selection of runs, but you'll always have like a bunch of other drivers on it. So you'll have like at least 2 or 3 other drivers doing the exact same run as you. And what I've noticed, even though I might be starting earlier than them, they're getting back to the yard before me, and that's because they know the routes. And even though I've got Google Maps and I've got TomTom running at the same time to kind of give me the best chance of getting around it all, they just know these routes. My God, like I came into this as confident as anything, and there's 2 drivers, Eric and Lee, and I set off ahead of them from this site, and I came out as confident as anything, not a problem at all, and I was going down the A50, and they just pop out ahead of me on the roundabout. I was thinking, how the bloody hell have they done that? I've got 2 sat-navs. I think it really goes to show that as much as you think you know in trucking, you don't. There's always more to learn somewhere. There's always someone who knows more. And since that humiliation, if I'm brutally honest, that defeat of seeing them 2 pop out on that bloody roundabout, I couldn't believe it. I absolutely could not believe it. But since then, I might have been a little less confident in what I'm doing, and I've been following along with the other drivers and keeping ahead of me. But even still, God dang, they're quick. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't come into this expecting to be like leader of the pack or, you know, the best employee here. But I was at least wanting to be like midway through, mid-pack. I was happy with that. But no, I am like last. I'm pretty sure I'm last anyway. There's something that I struggle with, which I don't know if it's like a basic part of trucking, which I'm just not grasping, or what the crack is, but yeah, let me explain. You know when you're talking to a driver and you've said, oh, I'm going down to this place, and the traffic's been really bad, or this has happened. And said driver, being as lovely as they are, they try and help you out, and they'll say, oh, have you tried going down the A5132? And then you can cut across the B6189, and then come down the A513625, and then come across the B365625532. And I'm just thinking, these are all just random numbers to me. None of these make any sense. They're just numbers. I know the A and the B at the beginning of it. I definitely remember them parts, but the rest of it, nope, they're just numbers. But I don't know any of that. Let's talk about the new company I work for, James Booth. So one thing I was stunned to find out about was the fact that they're older than you think. They're like a lot older than you think. Being technical, obviously, the date, I don't know it. When they were founded, like it was 1900s. It was old. Their first vehicle had 1 horsepower. It was a horse, so I mean, obviously it only had 1 horsepower, but still, it's old. Nowadays, though, no horses, which is definitely good because I don't get along well with them. I knew a friend, it wasn't me, it was a friend that got bit by a horse. I know this has no relevance to the story at all about James Booth. It's a complete tangent, but he got bit by a horse. It was a whole thing, and I just don't get the point of them anymore. I don't really get them. I know they used to be useful, but, and apologies if anyone's watching this and they've got a horse. Oh my word, I hope my boss doesn't have a horse. This could go disastrously wrong for me. My point with horses is the fact that we still have them around, but they're useless. Like, they don't do anything anymore. I mean, vehicles do all that stuff. Like, if you think about it, oxen used to be like a work animal. We don't have them anymore. Why are people not riding oxen around? Because they're not as cool as a horse. Talk about the trucks, Tom. The trucks, that's what people are here for. So they've got a fleet of 18 trucks. They're all Volvos. Now, I know that I have seen some pictures where they've had, I think they've had a DAF, and I think I've seen a Scania, and they have had a Mercedes as well. I did ask about the Mercedes, obviously, given that's what I used to have, and I was told, yeah, we're not bloody getting Mercedes again. So there's obviously a story there somewhere. I will say this company's history is actually quite fascinating. So if you do actually want a separate video, maybe I could have a look into doing something. I don't know if anyone would be interested in that. I would be. So they do have some FHs, the bigger cabs. This is an FM cab, so the kind of the day cab or the emergency day cab, but it's the bigger cab of the smaller cabs. I think that makes sense. Basically, it's higher, it's taller. Okay, so let's talk about the things I don't like about this truck, because there are a few things. I don't like this tiny little FM cab. It's hard for me to move around in. I can't stand up in it, unlike the Mercedes where I could actually kind of get up and actually walk around and kind of, so I can't store any of my stuff in any of the lockers that are up here, because I have to kind of crawl over things, and I'm 6'10", I'm not able to do stuff like that. I don't like the tiny little fuel. I get a day out of the diesel. A day and a half if I'm doing motorways. I don't like the silly little these wheels. I've never liked them. They look stupid. I like the big ones. It looks like I've said this before. It looks like when you've built a Lego model and you can't find the full size piece, and the only one you can find is one of the tiny little wheels. So you just make do. I also don't like the fact that when the shovels load up whatever aggregates on here, the sheet doesn't go over until you've had to shunt it like 5 times, because it's so low it only just fits the stuff in. Now, there is method in the madness, and there are reasons for these changes. The first is the fact that the height is now at 11'6", which for a UK vehicle, that's very low. Like most curtain siders, what you're talking, 13 foot, 14 foot, something like that. Height is surprisingly important with tippers. Obviously it means that you can get under more bridges, and obviously we go to less accessible areas, so that can have an effect, but it also means that we can go under bins. And essentially when I say bins, I mean basically, I don't mean that. Basically we go under these shooty things. Wow, I should have thought about what I was saying before I said this. But basically the stuff falls out of the ceiling into the into the trailer of the... If you don't know what I'm talking about, sod ya, I don't care. That's literally the explanation you're getting. Basically stuff comes out of the ceiling and it falls into the trailer. Yeah, we're going with that. Basically they're sometimes quite low. My old Mercedes didn't get into some of them because that was really high. Now the other thing is obviously weight. Weight is so important with tippers. Now to give you a comparison of how light this vehicle actually is, Chloe, skip chick, she drives a walking floor. That thing comes in at 18.5 ton. Then there's Jono, Trucker Jono of the Trucketeers, his flatbed. That's without any sides, that's just a flatbed. That thing I think weighs in at 16, I think was he saying 16,700? Like, pretty weighty. And I think Ashley's truck was 16,400 fully fueled. Now my old truck, my old Mercedes, that weighed in at 15,300, and that's kind of starting to get towards tipper weight. Now this thing, fully fueled, is 14.8. So that is nearly 4 tons lighter than Chloe's, and that is massive. That is huge. And even comparing it to Jono's truck, which is 2 tons heavier than this, that 2 ton with tippers, it makes a massive, massive difference. I do actually get asked quite frequently about how important are the weights with bulk work. And so I'll give you some generalized figures. So 2 tons less could result, well, we'll say 15 quid a job. So you're losing out on 15 quid for every single job that you're doing. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but then you've got to think that I'll be doing 3 jobs a day. So you're talking, what, 45 quid a day. Now over the week, you're looking at over 200 quid, which still doesn't sound like a huge amount in a sense. But then you've got to think, there's 18 trucks in this fleet. Well, that's what, 4 grand at this point? Now take that 4 grand. Over the course of the year, you're looking at £250,000 or somewhere near about. Either way, a huge amount of money. Then to go even further with it than that, over the course of the lives of the vehicle, over the course of the lives of the fleet, what, you're looking at what, 6 years before you replace them as an example? Well, over them 6 years, you're looking at like, what, £1.5 million. That's massive. That is huge, and that is the reason why weight is so very important with tippers. I think I've said this before on this channel. It's about the cream, and cream is good. Cream is the money. It's the skim off the top, and that's what we're after. That's what we're wanting with tippers. We're wanting our skim off the top. This is my last tip of the day. It's Friday afternoon and I am very happy. I enjoy work, but I'm ready for the weekend. I do like these doors on this. I know it's an odd thing to say, but they don't catch as easy. Let me put you down somewhere. Where can I pop you? Alright, let's bang it into neutral. PTO on. Now, I don't normally open the sheet as a tip, but I've seen the other guys doing it, and I have a theory, so I'm just doing it based on a theory. I think they're doing it because as the product goes out, it's scratching essentially the sheet and potentially puncturing it, because the material's a lot higher up on this thing. But don't get me wrong, this is just a theory. I very much could be wrong on this. Watch the traffic be absolutely shocking. Where's my remote? There's my remote, exactly where I normally leave it. I have such first world problems on this truck. I'm sure there's someone sat watching this going, God, this guy whinges a lot about everything, doesn't he? I can't find my remote, or the air conditioning's not quite cold enough, or what's the other one? Oh, there's no back warmer on my chair. That was an actual complaint I had to my boss. I was like, no back warmer, what's going on with that? I know some people do say like truck drivers were spoiled. There are days I do hear it. I hear myself and I'm like, yep, I definitely hear it right now. I don't really get this corner because they want us to turn left here, but they make it so bloody hard to turn left. We can't turn, we're not allowed to turn right. We have to come right out. And the traffic comes bloody flying down here. Sorry. Oh, she glared at me. She did not like me then. Ah, right. Tell you what, let's end the video here. I don't know if this is a short or long video. Genuinely, I have no idea. I have no idea. Either way, we should be on a normal, regular, ordinary schedule, so that's quite good. Right, so follow me on. I'm never any good at this. What can you follow me on? Instagram, I'm on that. Sometimes. I have posted stuff this week. A few things. Facebook, kinda, I think they're linked. So I think they go on both, I'm pretty sure. Maybe. I'll double check that. Now, obviously, check out the podcast. You can get it just about anywhere. You can get it on iTunes. Well done, Tom. You've got a real good list. iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast. But more importantly, it is now on YouTube. Yes, you can listen to it on YouTube. Well, no, you can watch it on YouTube, actually. But you can just listen to it. You can do both. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. Have I mentioned it? Oh, merch. Yes, there's finally merch. You can actually buy t-shirts and stuff. I can't show you it. It occurs to me, what would have worked out is for me to show you the t-shirts that you can now buy, but I wasn't organised enough to put one on. I will say, there is so much you can buy on there. Genuinely, it's amazing. Like, even I was impressed with it. I thought I was going to buy a t-shirt. No, I bought loads of stuff. I'm more than I probably should have done, in fairness. So if you want to go and get some merch, go to samandslap.com. There's only a few items on there now, but there is more stuff coming when I get round to it. But fairness, I actually have made a merch store. Wait, let's just take every victory for what it is. This is a victory. Simple. So, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't, wait, no. That's the podcast ending. How do I finish off the vlogs? Oh, crap. How do I normally finish off the vlog? I can't remember. Oh, no. See, this is why I should script some of this stuff. I'm not very good at it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. Thank you so much for watching, and we shall see you next time. Oh, that's how I do it. I remember now.